Computer.
In here.
Hello, everybody. The Olympics have arrived. We are back with the duo LLC as our colleagues are in Paris doing, coach things.
Frying bigger fish.
Indeed.
Yeah.
We do have our guest, our special guest. Say hi to everybody, sir.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Very good. Very good.
Look at that smile, boy.
Here.
Kareem, KST is here to talk to Daddy. We're gonna talk about stuff.
Me?
I mean, we're not necessarily gonna discuss you, but you are welcome to participate in the discussion.
Where is mine?
Sure. Oh,
Here.
as you see, I am in, Olympic garb. I got the
Right.
pajamas.
Okay.
Shout out to Sonia. Well done.
Nice.
They are very comfortable. They're a little warm for the summertime, but they're gonna come in handy later.
Right.
Here.
Kareem's here to talk to Daddy.
Tell me.
And you. So are you excited for the Olympics, Kyle? You just excited for Kareem?
Him.
And no, I have to talk to him. Like, that's the whole show. That's the whole show.
Tell me.
All right. Well, sir, we have plenty of things to get into, but I'll ask you straight up, since I'm in the garb and the Olympics have officially opened, did we enjoy the opening ceremonies?
So, I was pretty diplomatic on X a couple hours ago. Ms. Hastings put a post up asking, so what are our thoughts on it? And the comments were hilarious. I mean, it was pretty much skewed to this is awful, but here's what I will say. It's obvious that, the organizers, having looked at the history of Olympic opening ceremonies, closed environment, stadium environment, controlled environment, you pretty much have a live, concert. You're throwing all the bells and whistles at it. It's a grandiose show. And they decided to take it outside, right? They decided to have the athletes come in boats on the Seine River, on the River Seine, and on their way to the final destination, the Eiffel Tower, it was a theater. It was supposed to be. And, essentially, that is pretty much impossible to capture on a screen. You cannot, right? So, from an audience standpoint, it's kind of like watching an F1 race or a Tour de France race where you're literally getting your little slice of the action. The athletes roll by on their boats and your opening ceremony is over, right? So I can only imagine what they had to say. But as far as capturing it all on TV, there was a lot of editing, a lot of ad hoc editing. The rain played,
Yeah.
it was really, and it turned into just something that looked like it was just cobbled together, right? Everything, like you could just tell the intention was good. The intention was, we're going to do something that's never been done before. And I'm sure once they drew everything up, the schematics and all of that, it looked absolutely amazing. I don't know if you saw the mock-ups and the pictures. I mean, yeah, scenically unbelievable. But execution wise, man, it left a lot to desire.
So, full disclosure, I'll say that while it was happening live, I watched it with no sound because I was conducting other things. So I hope that what I missed from the audio would have made it better.
It did. It absolutely did. Yes.
I'll say this. Because I'm a nerd and I like the Olympics, I've watched Barcelona with no sound. I've watched, Beijing with no sound, London with no sound, Atlanta with no sound.
Mm.
It's not even remotely close to those levels.
No.
Like it's way down.
Yeah.
And the general consensus, at least the general American consensus, seems to be that it was pretty lame. I like creativity. I like outside the box thinking. But when you go the creative route, when you try to bring an artistic feel to a thing that is pretty standard, you have to hit it. That's what made Beijing so dope.
Oh man.
For me, still the best one ever.
How and where? Who would ever even try to compare? We will never know how much money was spent
No.
on that Olympics opening ceremony. I mean,
no.
Insane.
And I mean, just the artistry and the discipline that it took. Right.
Come on.
So this felt very French to me. Stereotypically French, very a very bougie attempt at, trying to do something a little different. So like I said, I appreciate the attempt. I will watch it again later with audio from, the American feed. But yeah, it's just the weather didn't help, obviously, but it just it seemed kind of lame. And you know what? I'm glad that happened because that means LA, you are on notice. Don't you dare do that.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
Listen, we're obviously all super excited about the Olympics, and this is the LLC. Because we are missing some of our colleagues, we are going to hold off on the Olympic preview track and field wise.
Right.
But we are here to get into all other things Olympics because we are worldly sports people here. And we all should be paying attention to many more things other than track and field. Right. But yeah, I hope all of the sports are at a higher level than the opening ceremony seemed to be. And listen, if you've been to Paris, and I have no idea what you think of Paris. I think Paris is a beautiful place that once the beauty of it wears off, I'm just like, whatever. And so it's like the funny thing is Parisians don't really care for the Eiffel Tower that much.
No.
So the fact that the whole thing culminated with this light show of the Eiffel Tower is just like, I don't know. So
did you see what happened after that? Did you see the lighting of the cauldron?
Yeah, but it was confusing a little bit to me.
Well, I'm, again, from a planning standpoint, you've spent all this time from the starting position of the boats to the Eiffel Tower, and then you're going to send folks back the same route on a faster boat, albeit.
Yeah, faster for sure.
Right. All the way to the Louvre. You're going through all of this stuff to where you actually light the cauldron, and it's a balloon. And I mean, that was fantastic. I mean, the whole time I'm there waiting on Marie-Josée Perec to make her appearance.
Sure.
And lo and behold, she is one of the people that actually lights it, which, again,
Yeah,
like,
no, we're here for that.
we're here for
That was
that.
that was cool.
Yes. But the build up to it, it was just like, oh, you're just gonna make us wait. Okay. All right.
That's okay. So that's the other thing. I know these things go on for a while. They always do. This
Yeah.
one felt like,
Oh man.
Jesus, this is taking a long time.
It had Macy's Thanksgiving parade, just we're gonna go to commercial, we're gonna come back, and the boats are still going.
Yeah. 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 Luckily, there are no rivers in LA. Oh, really. You know what I mean? So we won't have to worry about any of that.
Oh my
And
goodness.
between America, California, and Hollywood specifically,
Right.
I'm gonna need y'all to do
Oh yeah.
28. I'm gonna need that to go.
Put some California love in it, and we'll
Yeah.
be just fine.
You can repeat the Super Bowl halftime show for part of
There
that.
we
We'll all
go.
be happy.
There we go. There we go.
Kendrick lights the cauldron. But whatever. So there's a lot of things,
Mhm.
but I guess we can go back and forth. What is an event, a competition that you are specifically ready to watch for these Olympics for whatever purpose? Because I got at least one good petty one in there.
Right. So gymnastics.
Of course.
I mean that is going to be an epic show. I'm looking forward to Retribution.
Mm.
I'm trying to remember the term that Simone was suffering from in
Twisties.
huh?
The twisties, as
The
they call
twisties,
them.
right. This Olympics is really for her to, as if she needed to, seal her legacy. I mean, there is no, she's incomparable in my opinion. But she's already gone on record to say that there's a certain maneuver that if she does it, she wants her name on it. She wants respect on her name, which again, you're delving into uncharted territory, but there's nothing normal about Simone Biles. Nothing. So I'm really looking forward to her asserting herself early and just saying, yeah, whatever you saw in Japan, that was an aberration. I'm back and I'm here to claim my crown.
So obviously I agree. The gymnastics is always one of the premier marquee events of any Olympics, and I think in this particular Olympics it means a lot more. I am here for the revenge tour of Simone Biles.
Yep.
In an Olympics where we're going to get a lot of fake redemption stories and fake redemption narratives, this is the ultimate redemption narrative, and it's real. This woman didn't even need to go to Tokyo.
Didn't even need to
and
go.
she was already the GOAT.
Yeah.
She went, something unplanned and unpredictable happened to her.
Right.
And it should have been okay, but it wasn't.
No.
And she was met with just over crazy just disrespect.
Yep.
And
vitriol.
Like,
oh my goodness.
Like, what are you even mad about? Do you know who you're talking to?
Yeah.
So the fact that she went through all that, ate it, and returned, when again, she absolutely doesn't have to. She has nothing to prove to anyone. But I am here for the John Wick disguised as Simone Biles show. I'm here for that. Can't wait.
Yeah.
And the fact that she's out there, putting everybody on notice of things that may actually happen is even better. So I'm totally here for that.
Yep.
and leave it to the governor to start us off in a classy manner. One of the events I'm absolutely going to watch and can't wait to watch is an event that I've literally never chosen to watch before, and that is the triathlon or whatever
Okay.
they call it, because they got these people swimming in that disease-infested water.
E. coli.
I am here
You see the
for
announcement?
this.
So right now, the river is not swimmable because
It
the E.
wasn't
coli levels
swimmable
are too
when the
high.
mayor jumped in it a week ago or whatever it was. Like, bro, listen, y'all, I ain't got to get in there. So I got no problem with y'all trying to sell this to me. But there's no way I'm getting in there if I'm one of them.
Oh my goodness.
No chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no chance. And
Hey.
listen, if you're a fan of petty activity, which I am, there are activists in Europe that have like been organizing, shit parties where they
Yes.
get together and purposely shit in the river just to make it worse, just to make the point. Like, I'm so here for this. This is
Right.
insane. It was a crazy idea. Like, it's like the opening ceremony thing. Like, hey, we got the Olympics. We're gonna make it dope. Here's an idea. Yeah, nah, don't do that. Nobody thought that, hey, you know what? Probably shouldn't do that one.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Well, I mean, broader topic, but we're also witnessing, you take the beauty of Paris, you take the vast cultures and the melting pot that is Paris.
yes.
I think we're also seeing the other side now. Also, I don't know if you saw the train lines.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
One of the reasons why I'm not there. Like,
you
no,
know,
I'm good.
I think anybody that pays attention to politics, to the world and how the world works. Paris has been the epicenter of a lot, and I'm saying a lot of political warfare,
Yeah.
a lot of cultural warfare.
Yeah.
And it's the kind of situation where it's damned if you do, damned if you don't, because you have I mean, you're talking about all of these different cultures meshed in, living together, and they're in close quarters. Like when I looked at how small Paris is,
Yeah.
I mean, it's something like 7 miles by 6 miles. That's it,
Yeah.
right? So the fact that there was a coordinated attempt to derail the fast rail system coming in from 4 different corners of France. I mean, surprise, you know.
Uh,
And it's just I think that comes with the territory. I think that you know, I think there's going to be a lot of mitigation during these Olympics, during these next 2 to 3 weeks.
oh yeah.
And it is what it is. I mean, there are going to be strikes. Did you see the strike at the Olympic, the IOC hotel?
Yeah.
I mean,
The,
it's
and this is we're going left with this, but it's fine. It's the best place to throw this in here right now. We did this a couple of years ago. So I'll just reiterate it here.
Mhm.
I am so on board for the Olympics should only be places. America, Europe, aka London,
Right.
and Asia. You want Japan, I'm cool with Japan. You want China, the political situation is a problem, but the games were
Mhm.
fantastic,
Yeah.
right? So I'll just settle on Japan.
Right.
Tokyo, London, whatever city in America wants to rotate. But that's it. Like I understand, Barcelona was dope and Australia
Mhm.
was dope. I get all of that, but just put it in places where we can have functional that know how to do this at a really, really high level. I'm not here
Absolutely.
for the greases. We did that twice. It's cool. We don't need to do that again. You definitely don't need to do, third world countries again. No more Brazils.
No,
None of that.
they're still reeling from that. Like
Right.
it's
Just
yeah,
give it to the people that can give it to the big boys and girls that can handle the situation.
infrastructure,
Yeah.
security,
Right.
keeping ducks in a row. Um,
So give me another sport, another event that you're here for.
well, you know, one of the clips that I have played back a couple of times, during the build up towards Paris has been Simone Manuel's 50-meter final.
Yeah.
And it was very interesting to me, like right up until the gun went off. It was like, watch out for X, Y, and Z in these two lanes. And I'm going, Simone Manuel is in this race, right?
Yeah.
And you're watching the race. And what's funny, I mean, and that's one of the things I love about the swimming broadcast is that they've split the screen now, and you can see, the commentators,
Oh yeah, the reactions. Yeah.
the reactions. It's great. It's absolutely great. So you're there watching, and then you're getting closer to the end, and Michael Phelps gets up and and because
Oh yeah.
he knew you're gonna bet against Simone Manuel. Are you serious?
Well,
So go ahead.
to that point about the swimming, if you don't follow the swimming competition, you're definitely missing out. It's always elite. It's amazing. It's athletics. It's track and field in a pool. Okay.
Absolutely.
Very, very comparable, very similar storylines, very, relays, the whole nine, right? But how that show is presented, at least to the American audience, because I've never seen a swimming broadcast on like the BBC or anything.
Mm-hmm.
How the American audience gets to watch swimming versus how the American audience gets to watch track and field is very, very different.
Very different.
If the best way I could describe it is the American broadcast of track and field is very corporate. It's very buttoned up.
Yep.
It's very suit and
Yep.
tie. It's very
Yep.
professional.
Mm-hmm.
The swimming broadcast is like
there's
whatever.
a routine, and
Yeah.
there's an order of things.
Yeah, the swimming broadcast is like, their height, their personalities driving that.
Yes,
thing, right?
absolutely.
I know Rowdy Gaines annoys some people, but that dude is fun to watch on TV.
He is.
So, I think I wish we get a little bit more of that on our side of things, but
yes.
Different audiences, I guess. But no, swimming, we don't have a Michael Phelps anymore, but like we're good at every discipline.
Well, I mean,
every comp is going to be crazy.
Who's going to beat Katie Ledecky? Like,
right. I mean,
it's almost boring now. Like,
now I will say this: Katie Ledecky is so good.
Yes.
That I like watching her, but watching the Olympic 10K is fun because everybody got skills.
Right.
Katie Ledecky be out there by herself swimming 2 hours, and it's dribble.
Yeah.
Like, I can't watch that. Like I specifically try to time it up to where I can watch like the last 3 laps, and it's just her by herself doing anything. So yeah, I'm not here for that. Give me the 25 meters, 50. Give me the 100.
Right.
Once you start getting past 100s, I'm like, it takes a long time. But no, I get it. I totally get it. I usually don't really care about the basketball.
Okay.
But the fact that somehow, some way, at least in the lead up to the Olympics and the games that the Team USA men have played, the idea that LeBron James is somehow still the best player on that team is wildly entertaining to me. Man. And I want to watch that now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why, but when you tell me LeBron James had to drag Team USA across the finish line to beat South Sudan
South Sudan.
I'm like, oh, okay. I want to watch that. And
then Germany.
and then
Germany
Germany,
took them
sure.
to the well too.
The nuance that everybody's missing, and it's one of the lamer, unintelligent debates of our time. Skills wise, you say whatever you want. Our current team is way more skilled at basketball than the Dream Team was, the original. But the Dream Team played, I think I saw the stat, in their entire Olympic run, the Dream Team played 5 NBA players total, and 4 of them were on one team.
Right. Exactly.
These guys are playing like 50 of them.
Yes.
So the world has caught up. It's truly a global game now. And no, these aren't going to be cakewalks for Team USA. Yeah, we still got the best team. Yeah, we still got the best talent. But the problem with our team is that the 40-year-old is the best guy. So I'm here to see how that plays out. I totally expect him to ultimately win. But the internal drama of that is fascinating to me.
So they start off against Serbia, who they've already played.
Right.
On the 28th. Then on the 30th, yeah, they play South Sudan on the 30th.
No, they're gonna see him again. They're gonna have to see him again.
So, I
Do a
mean, the
better
first
job
2
of it the
days,
second time, I imagine.
yeah. So that's going to be very interesting to see, because what's always the anomaly and the part that's always out there is the fact that FIBA, the world body of basketball and the way they play, being able to swipe the ball off the backboard, off the rim, different rules in terms of fouls and that sort of thing. I mean, it's always kind of a full frontal like, wait a minute, that's a foul all day, every day in the NBA.
Right,
You
right.
just mauled me, right? And you're not calling it?
No.
Well, you better adjust
Get
because
past it.
FIBA is not adjusting to the NBA, So
No.
those little nuances. I'm looking for Steph Curry to be Steph Curry. I'm looking for KD. He had a calf injury, and that's why they've been holding him out. So it looks like he's finally ready to go. That'll be a huge addition. So yeah, I mean, I'm very excited for the basketball tournament to start.
And for the record, if you're not familiar with the whole South Sudan story, it's
Man,
amazing.
oh man,
Dang, former NBA player,
absolutely.
goes back home and builds a basketball program in this
Yes, he does.
war-ravaged nation.
Yep.
Like, it's amazing. Like, that team is fun to watch, and you should get into that story and support it in any way that means something to you, because it's
I mean, can you imagine a 30 for 30 if they, made it to the medal round, or
that's all I want. That's all I want is South
that
Sudan
would
to get a
be
medal. Like, that's all
insane.
I want. I'm
Yeah.
so here for that.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Okay. And we can get back into positive things, but what events are you absolutely not interested whatsoever in watching in the Olympics? There's always a few.
So I've never been able to get into field hockey. I have never been able to get into water polo. Like,
I disagree on water polo. I'm
do
here.
you?
I like water polo.
I don't know, man. Like, you know what it is? It's the fact that the majority of the action is happening underwater.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
Like, and the game now, the actual game of water polo is extremely difficult.
Yeah.
And I don't take anything away from it. It's just the fact that the amount of foot battles and kicking and the amount of, oh my gosh.
Water polo is basically rugby in water.
Yes, in the water. Yeah.
And I became a fan of water polo, ironically, my freshman year at UCLA, because I knew the game existed, but I never watched it.
Yeah.
and UCLA is one of the infamously good water polo teams in the NCAA. And I went to a water polo match and I was like, oh my God, like this is amazing. Like
Yeah,
if my parents had money when I was in school, I would have played this all day because I swam.
right.
Like I'm a good swimmer, but this is like I'm here for this. No,
Yeah.
water polo, well, I like water polo. Well, water polo's dope. I'm not here, and I hope I hope it can change my mind because I'll ultimately try to watch it. I'm not here for the 3-on-3 basketball. I'm not here for that. It's weird. I don't know why we needed another basketball and
I don't know. I
I,
don't know.
I'm not here for that.
Um,
You know, I'm looking forward to surfing. And you know, I've never really gotten into surfing, but the fact that they're in Tahiti
Yeah,
and
that's an interesting dynamic for sure.
like they showed the difference between like once they introduced surfing and the waves that they were surfing on and the waves that are off the coast of Tahiti. Oh
Oh
my
yeah, no,
goodness.
it's not a game.
It's not.
It's not a game.
So I'm looking forward to that. Absolutely.
no.
And then everybody, I'm always here for the soccer, or I'm sorry, football, the real football.
Yeah.
I'm always here for that, right? Like, it's funny. It's like because of football culture, soccer culture, the Olympics will never be bigger than the World Cup or bigger than the Euro League Championship, right? But
Mhm.
it's still an international soccer competition, and it's always good.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
I'm definitely here for the soccer tournament,
Yeah.
men and women, because they're very different, but they're always both very exciting.
Right. Right. I mean, and trying to think what else that I'm not. I love all. I mean, I'm a fan of all sports. I mean, um, I'm curious about breakdancing.
That one I'm not. I mean, I'm gonna try to check it out just because
Yeah.
curiosity, but I'm like, I don't even understand how we're. I mean, I guess it's it's for me. It's like okay, synchronized swimming. Like I don't like
It's
it.
subjective.
I don't even get how we're gonna score it. But do your thing.
Yeah.
Um, See, to me, the breakdancing thing feels like it's in there because the Olympics are coming back to America,
Right.
right? If we weren't on the ticket, I don't know if that would be in there.
Right.
But whatever. Um, and then the other one, I'm sorry, I can't unless Snoop Dogg is announcing it, I can't get into any of the horse stuff. I'm not here for the equestrian, not here for the whatever they call the dancing horses. I'm not here
Oh,
for any of that.
goodness.
I literally don't like that. But if you have not seen the clip from the last Olympics of Kevin Hart and Snoop Dogg
Oh,
announcing
it
the
is
horse dancing, that is the
it
funniest thing you
is
ever hear in your life.
absolutely hilarious. Absolutely.
So we'll do a full blown Olympics preview of athletics
Mhm.
next week.
Next week.
But yeah, that I guess it's a pretty good summation of where we are. Excited for the Olympics again. Shout out to Sonya for the pajamas. Um, so we got some news this morning. Um, from over here, the other side of the
Yes.
pond. I'm gonna let you run with this explanation because that is one of your superpowers around here for our people. But the NCAA has made a decision.
Right.
Go.
So a couple days ago, the NCAA came out with a roll call of chosen events, so chosen sports, and basically said, okay, scholarships will change from X to X. And we were all sitting there waiting on an announcement for track. And there was none. So, you know, what we've been waiting on is essentially a decision by the NCAA based on the current lawsuits. Basically, the new era of track and field as we know it and how the NCAA expects us to continue. Now, this morning, the announcement was that the men's scholarships will go from 12.6 to potentially 45. The women's scholarships will go from 18 to potentially 45. Cross country will now have a limit of 17 men and 17 women. Okay. Now, it was very interesting to me to see the reactions because it was like, hallelujah, we can now have so many scholarships and everybody, and all the weekend warriors and the middle tier kids, they're going to be so many scholarships available. No, hate to burst your bubble.
Oh,
And
I'm here to burst.
once you got past the initial euphoria, then you started to delve in reality. And the bottom line is this: 45 scholarships is pretty much, I mean, and I want you to expound on this. It is pretty much impossible in my mind for any team, I don't care who you are, to adequately delve out and dish out 45 scholarships to 45 athletes that actually deserve it. And that's the part that is missing in this entire equation, because what the article means is that you have the option to scholarship up to 45 people. It doesn't say you have to scholarship more than 12 people in order to be considered a sport.
That's right. And I think that's a good place to clarify some things, because the reactions that I've been seeing, social media, Twitter, direct text messages, DMs, I'm like, it's one of those situations where it's like, okay, I know I'm pretty smart, but y'all can't be this dumb. Like, I don't, first of all, let me say this. It's brilliant. What we've all said in different forms is, when systems change and money is involved, the smarter people will always figure out a way to extract what they want and show and make you feel like you're winning. You see what I'm saying? So we are having this potentially this conversation right now specifically about our sport, because that's what we really care about. This is so bad. It's so bad. What they've done holistically is the biggest change that they've made that no one's really talking about is the idea of the term that we all understand to be head count sports.
Right.
Head count sports is dead. That has gone away. Right. There's no such thing as head count sports anymore. And what head count sports used to mean was football, basketball, certain other sports. Everybody on the team is on a full scholarship or no scholarship. Right. There's nothing in between. Olympic sports, for the most part, we've always operated in the realm of equivalency. We have this pot of money for scholarships for our sport that isn't nearly enough to fund the sport. Hence, 12.5 scholarships for a sport that has 21 outdoor track and field events, right? Run that math for you. So we have to deal on equivalency. That's how you get a kid on a full ride and a kid on 26.2% and a kid on 6%. Because you can make the dollar stretch, right? What they've done here is that they have not capped the scholarships, because that's not true.
Right.
They have capped the roster
Roster.
maximums.
Right.
School X can now have a men's track and field team of no more than 45 athletes.
Yep.
Don't get distracted by the 17 in cross country, because those humans must be declared on the track and field roster. It's 45 bodies, period. You don't get 45 in track and then bring in the 17. No, it's 45. So with that 45, the part that they're not getting into, remember, this whole thing is concocted so the NCAA, while it still exists for 10 more seconds, can stop getting sued.
Mm-hmm.
So they have said, okay, the roster limit is 45, and you people work out the rest of it.
Exactly.
Hey, we're out.
Right.
So conference by conference,
Yep.
they're going to set the financial standards.
Yep.
If the SEC says you can do whatever the hell you want with the money, because we got it, which they will. If our colleague Mike Holloway wants to give 45 full rides,
That's real
got
problem.
it like that, then he can do it.
Yep.
If he wants to give $2 million to Grant Holloway and make everybody else a walk-on, he can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Do whatever the hell he wants.
Right.
They got it like that, so they can do it like that. And if you take the shackles off the financials and say you can have 45 bodies, what that means for people, small schools like mine, like yours, is that the top tier athletes who already ignore us and go to those schools, the secondary athletes who we turn into elite athletes who then leave us and go to those schools, no, they're going to come for our middle tiers because they got the space.
Yeah.
And they got the funds. There is no universe on the planet where my mid-major program or yours is going to call you into the office next week like, hey guys, check this out. Your cap is 45 athletes now, and here's your money to get 45 dudes. No, sir. No. They're going to say, here's your chunk of dollars. Go make it work. And the chunk of dollars ain't going to be nowhere near what it costs to bring an athlete to your school 45 times over.
Right.
Not even a little bit. So the rich people just got, the handcuffs taken off.
Yep.
Spend how they want, when they want, for the reasons that they want. And the middle class and the broke people just became way more broke.
Mm-hmm.
Which means your teams are going to be significantly less talented.
Right.
And no, as a head coach, just for the record, no, it doesn't mean that your 12'9" running 100-meter girl is now going to get some money at my school.
Right.
No, sir. That's not a thing.
Right.
We're not going to do that. Right? So it's so bad. My fear is the programs that are going to look at this and be like, hey, from a Division I standpoint, we cannot compete in this environment. So why even try?
Right.
And that's the issue.
I mean, I would say that on our level, and some might call this self-deprecating or whatever, the status quo is probably going to be music to our ears.
Oh, that would be amazing.
You know what I'm saying? And that's being hopeful times 10, right? Because if any mid-major decides that they want to go full bore into football at 105,
105.
That's pulling from all different kinds of places. Okay. If there's a program that decides they want to go all in on baseball, who has a roster now of 34, are you kidding me? I mean, it's just overall, it's the be careful what you ask for.
Oh,
okay.
To that point, thank you. Because throughout this discussion in our world,
Mm-hmm.
there are people, coaches, that have been openly advocating for the roster limits to be higher than the 45 that we now have, or in that realm of the 45 range. The majority of Division I is not a Power 4 school, because there ain't even no Power 5 no more, and we might be on our way to a Power 3 in a hot second here. For the vast majority of us, you guys have to understand, it's just math. If the numbers would have came out today and they were 30 for the girls and 25 for the men,
Mm-hmm.
that would at least put a soft prevention on the big schools coming in and snatching everybody, because they'd run out of space.
Right. Right.
The fact that it's damn near 50 means they can do whatever they want.
Yep.
And it's, I guess in any profession, everybody that's in said profession aspires to work at the top level, right? Like, if you're not doing that, we'll check your ambition, right? But there's only so many of those jobs, people.
Absolutely.
There's only so many seats at those tables.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're sitting at one, then I get why you would want this. Like, today's news is like awesome. Like, yes, we got everything we wanted, or it's as good as it could have been for us. If you ain't at one of those seats and you think this is net positive,
Delusional.
totally delusional. Like,
Yeah.
Explain it to me. I'm here for it. I love debates. I don't have to agree, but you have to be able to justify this point to me. I do not see how this is anything positive. But for shits and giggles, because I got the list. I got the whole list. And here's the thing. It's some shenanigans when every sport got this massive increase in scholarships,
Yes.
with not a dollar to back it up.
Exactly.
All you got is the idea of scholarships. There's no money behind this decision.
No.
So, did you know, because I didn't, that the NCAA had tumbling as a sport?
You did.
Cool.
I
The
did.
old scholarship limit for tumbling was 14. The new limit is 55. So I feel like I'm going to have to learn how to teach people to flip and go get a new gig, because apparently tumbling is awesome. 55, from 14 to 55. Baseball from 11-7 to 34, right? Now, here's the fun. Basketball women, no change. It was 15. It is 15 now.
Yep.
It should tell you people something. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Bowling, which I did know exists because I used to work at Louisiana Tech, and Sean Jackson was not only the associate head coach of track and field, but he was also the head bowling coach.
Right.
Best hustles I've ever seen. Went from 5 to 11. I've been to NCAA bowling. I don't know why you need 11 girls on that bowling team. But again, who's paying for it? Cross country from 5 and 6 to 17. Equestrian. From 15 to 50.
Right.
To 50. Now, listen, I'm just looking at stuff like this. If you tell me that tumbling and equestrian all of a sudden have these massive increases in roster, aka scholarship opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
and these are basically, let's be straight about it, country club sports,
Mm-hmm.
they not worried about where their money coming from.
Yeah.
Their money somehow gonna get found.
Oh yeah.
In our sport,
Doesn't work like
ain't
that.
nobody rushing in to fill this gap of money that we are now have the opportunity to gift to these kids. It's insane. There's a lot of crazy lacrosse.
Fencing. Did you see
Lacrosse.
fencing?
Fencing? Oh, yeah, it's on here somewhere. Lacrosse. Again, lacrosse. 12.6 and 12 to 48 and 38. You know? Where's fencing? Fencing, oh, Jesus Christ. fencing from 5 to 24.
24. Yeah.
Wow.
Again,
The only sport on here with a massive increase in the money to pay for it is football.
yeah. I mean, even with golf, going from 4.5 on the men to 9, and the woman going from 6 to 9. I mean, you talk about literally, and I don't care where you're at. If you have a golf team, that's one phone call.
Yes. Yeah.
It's doable.
Yeah.
Right? But it's just to go from 12.6 to 45 for track and field.
Water polo went from 4.5 and 8 to 24 across the board. Like you guys got to understand how this is going to play. Like I said, the conferences are going to get together and they're going to set one of two things. The conferences are going to set either there is no limit, that's a you problem, and leave it to the schools, or the conferences are going to set a standard of funding,
right?
If you want to play this sport, like a maximum.
Right.
And that's the thing. In this world of maximums, no one cares about the minimum. I'm in the Mountain West. Track and field can now do 45 and 45. With all due respect to my colleagues at Air Force, who I love, and they run a great program. Air Force's athletes are funded by government money.
Right.
So now Air Force can have 45 dudes paying $0 to go to school. And I'm never going to get close to that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Grand Canyon.
Yeah, Grand Canyon, that's church money.
Yep.
Right?
Liberty.
Like the public schools, especially the small public schools, are mostly in our world going to be crippled by this from a competitive level.
Yes.
Whether or not they cease to exist is another issue. But hey, it's a scary endeavor.
Yes, it is.
For the profession. And I'll say this because I've said it before. If you are a coach in our profession of women athletes, you're in a lot better position at this moment, because as long as the NCAA structure does exist, Title IX will protect most of you. But that's not where this is going. Okay. At some point, and I would love to be wrong. Trust me, I wish I was so wrong about this. At some point, the powers that be, and by that I mean football, the new playoff, all that, the money is going to be so big that the Big Ten and the SEC will balloon to 20, 25 schools apiece, and they will simply take their money ball and exit stage left.
Right.
And they will fund football privately. Once it becomes a corporate private entity, they're no longer under the guise of Title IX. They can fund whatever sports on their campuses they want or don't want.
Exactly.
So it's very messy.
It's
a very messy future, for sure. And speaking of that, coaching news on the horizon.
Boy,
there's a lot of activity in the last 2 weeks in the coaching carousel world.
Yep, and there's more to come.
Some massive shakeups.
Absolutely. Where do you want to start?
I mean, I feel like we started at the top, right? Like the biggest bomb by far is the changes at Arkansas. It has to be, right?
Yes.
And you know, when we do these conversations, like, I hope the audience knows, like, we're not shooting at anybody. Like, we're always happy to see new people get new opportunities. Like, but one thing you absolutely could not convince me would ever happen this summer in the hiring field is that Travis Gepford would leave Arkansas to run the show at Kansas State.
Yeah.
Like, that was mind blowing.
Yeah.
And it's like we're in a jump domino summer right now.
Right.
There's so many places that need jump jobs.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
It,
Yeah, it's lot of stuff still to shake out as far as, announcements and stuff like that. But last year was the year of the jumps coach, and it just feels like this year is also the year of a jumps coach. And we've already seen some movement, the announcement of Nick Newman going back to UCLA.
right? Joanna Hayes' first official hire
Yep.
in that
Yep.
space.
Um, you know, and it'll be interesting to see, because one of the things that's being talked about, I'd say on a lower level, is as much as we would love to, romanticize as with the 45 roster limit, um, the whole situation with the extra coaching positions, um, it seems like there's some decisions that are being made to go the other way. And if you're paying attention, and decisions, coaches that are leaving staffs and not being replaced.
That's right.
This is happening, people. This
And,
is a real thing.
and I'll put another layer on it. We will never get into people's financial business that is not already public information. But I will simply say this. Some of these positions that are out there that have been filled, that people see like, oh my God, situation X is open. Man, whoever gets that job's getting the bag.
Mm-hmm.
No, they are not.
No, they're not.
Salaries, including head coach / director of track and field salaries, are coming down.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have any sense of reality, if big job salaries are not being paid what you imagine they should be paid, they've been paid in the past,
Mm-hmm.
and you can read the tea leaves of this looming reality fiscally in the NCAA, and with the roster change things, do the math, people.
Yeah.
Our sport has not taken care of itself or created a big enough platform on television. And therefore, we do not generate revenue. I've always hated that term, but it actually has a very legitimate meaning. The professionals and the athletic directors, when they say we're a non-revenue generating sport, here's what they mean, guys. When a basketball team makes March Madness, there's a check that comes with that. When they advance through the rounds, there are checks that come with that. When our colleague Mike Holloway won the men's national championship this year for the Gators, I'm certain he got a check. I'm certain his assistants got a check. But Florida didn't get a check from the NCAA for that.
Yeah.
So our sport is non-revenue generating, meaning when the teams win, there's no check that comes back to the school for any of that.
Right.
So it's just an endeavor that the school and the NCAA chooses to fund for the greater good of the student athlete, for the greater good of Title IX compliance, for the greater good of feeling good about what you're doing on your campus.
Right.
But at some point, the good vibes don't match up with the dollars. And that's when things start to go away. That's just the way it is. So that's why the salaries are coming down, because they don't want to invest.
Exactly. And, again, this is something that's been talked about for well over a decade, maybe even 2 decades ago, in terms of how to make track and field profitable, how to bring fans in. And I know that Pat Henry has been very, very demonstrative and very outspoken about what we're currently doing with our sport. And eschewing the fact that you can go to NCAAs with 5 to 6 athletes and win the meet. And, what that does from the standpoint of a team competition. I mean, I've seen the framework of the dual meet system, doing smaller meets, but bringing a more intimate situation and bringing fans in and getting them involved. We have to evolve. Like I think our survival depends on it, and until, there's some new ideas that are brought to the table. I mean, I think we're just going to continue to fall into this situation where we're basically taking what they give us, right?
Yeah,
The
literally.
the mere fact, and this is what, again, everybody's going to see that number 45. What they don't realize is that there's a 0 attached to that 45. It's 0 to 45.
That's right.
And that's what people really have to pay attention to.
It's not a minimum, it's a
No.
maximum.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, but no, and we went way off the rabbit hole on that, but
It needs to be addressed. I mean,
no, it does. It does. And listen, I'm as close to what you would call a track purist as anybody that is. I hate the team concept model for the NCAA.
Mhm.
But I also can do math.
Yeah.
I can do math. I
Mhm.
read numbers. I can read a room. I don't, and for me, since I absolutely, you can't convince me that the break off isn't coming anyway. Like it is what it is at this point. If that's going to, if that model is going to keep more people employed,
Mhm.
then it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Here's the other part that, again, the elephant in the room. The role that NCAA track plays into the Olympic movement.
Oh, that's why we're talking about it today.
I mean,
We are the feeder system.
it is.
We are the feeder system.
Exactly.
The problem is no one in NCAA business world gives two damns about none of that. They don't care. But don't get it twisted. On the day that the Olympics open, if the NCAA track and field scene is diminished,
Mhm.
shrunken,
Yeah.
cut in half,
Yeah.
the Olympics are going to be worse
Worse.
for it.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe whatever thing emerges from the ashes of that could be better. I don't know. But I know potentially there's going to be a lot of smart people who do their jobs well
Mhm.
that are going to have to go find other professions if,
Absolutely.
if we don't come to some kind of, different solution.
Yeah.
Because this 45 thing ain't it. That is not it, people.
Oh man. Mm-mm.
But anyway, to our colleagues, Mr. Holloway, Mr. Huffins, and Ms. Chu, wish you nothing but glowing success out there in Paris. We miss you. The audience says that me and KST are holding it down just fine. So whenever y'all want to return, but no, we miss y'all and we're watching, and obviously we are rooting for y'all more than anybody else, first and foremost. But
certainly look forward to reuniting with them on the show next week.
yes, we have been promised that y'all will see other faces next week. If you're sick of us already, it is what it is. But I appreciate the time, brother.
Yes, sir.
Good show, and we'll see y'all next week.